Hello, Bizarre Story friends. You've tuned into the Bizarre AF, where we talk about the strange, the absurd, the unknown, and things that are bizarre AF. I'm Kevin. I'm going to be your host for today's episode. And as always, we ask that you keep an open mind, keep a skeptical ear, but keep listening to those facts as we take you on our newest journey. Allan Turing, the man killed by the nation he saved. Welcome to another episode, and happy Pride, Alicia.
Happy Pride! Happy Pride, ally!
Yay!
Yes! Oh my God, I'm so happy this Pride.
We look amazing.
If we do say so ourselves.
If I do say so myself.
Honestly, like we were talking about this earlier as we were doing our makeup and stuff.
Yeah.
I was telling Kevin how much I just wish every month were Pride and we could dress like this.
Yes.
And just have fun and be creative.
We could be. Just the people, give you the side eye.
Oh, they're such douchebags.
Totally.
They do not appreciate our fabulousness.
Exactly.
We just have it always
wear
in there.
this to work. It wouldn't be so fun on a conference call to have someone on the call.
Yes.
It would be fun.
I would be like, okay, you're interesting.
Exactly.
Right? Half the time you're like, oh, cool, another bro in a tech vest. Or like,
Totally.
the douche vest. But like, honestly, we look so cool right now.
So cool. I would want to know us.
Yeah, I definitely want to know us. And I know us. I still want to.
So hopefully you all are watching, because we are all prided out.
Yes, we are.
Spent a good old long while. Alicia helped me with my eyeballs.
Yes. Yeah, with that beautiful rainbow swoosh. Yeah. What is like maybe like a ribbon or something?
Yeah.
I love it. Or wave.
So sparkly.
Oh my
Your
God.
lips, like Hedwig lips, they're so
What's
amazing.
great is when you go over to Kevin's house and he says, I think you need some like glitter on your lips. I have specific like glitter for your lips. It's micro. You should put it on there. I'm like, yeah, of course. Jeez.
Don't have to tell me twice.
Yeah, definitely not.
Well, cool. Well, this is Gay Pride Month, June. All over the world. We celebrate Pride. And, I was going to do an episode about Pride, and I thought, it's not really bizarre. It doesn't really fit our theme. But, I don't know, we might talk about it somewhat in another episode. We'll kind of get into it a little bit today.
Yes.
But we're going to start off by, I'm going to ask you, Alicia, have you ever heard of the Enigma machine?
I have.
You have?
Yes,
Okay.
I have heard of the Enigma machine.
Have you heard of the Bomba or the Bombay machine?
No, I don't think so. The Enigma machine, wasn't that it was like it helped out with codes for the World War II.
The Enigma machine was actually the machine that was the one that the Germans used to create the code.
Yes. Okay, and they got a hold of it.
They got a hold of that Enigma.
Yes.
That's right. And then the Bomba or the Bombay, what they call it, that's the one that broke the code.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't either, honestly. To be quite honest. I didn't know the name of it.
Yeah.
But that was the name of it. So we're going to talk about those machines a little bit today and how they relate to a man who really saved the world from pure hate.
Oh my God.
Ultimately.
Yeah.
His name's Allan Turing. Now, this episode's going to be a bit of a twofer.
Ooh,
Kind
okay.
of a twofer. So it's Gay Pride Month, so I did want to take the opportunity to talk about Allan and what a wonderful man he was, and his absolutely horrendous and senseless death, which will actually lead us to the second part of the episode, where we're going to talk about the completely bizarre an incomprehensible way that people ultimately mask their hate and their judgment and their disdain and all that other shit that they hide behind their religions and rules and laws and all that other stuff that helps them justify their nasty behavior toward people. Yeah. So it's not going to be like super happy episode. It's going to be a little bit of a downer probably,
but here's the thing.
But it's important.
It's important. It's what happened. It's what's happened in history. And thank God, not thank God. Thank God. Well, no, thank God that we can be who we are today. Right.
Amen.
I mean, you don't have to worry. Like right now, you know, we're decked out in beautiful, bright colors and can be whomever it is that we are.
Yeah.
And people don't have to worry about those things.
No,
anymore.
for the most part.
Yeah, right.
People let people be who they want to be for the most part.
It's more acceptable to be okay with that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, yes, there are still fucking assholes in this goddamn world, but maybe we're moving in the right direction.
I think so. Okay. Oh yeah, we're absolutely making progress. We are. Okay. So start off by highlighting Allan Turing. So who was Allan Turing? Well, his full name is Allan Mathematician Turing, and he was born on June 23rd, 1912 in London. Yeah, he was born in Pride Month.
Yeah.
Now, he was a British mathematician who made a lot of tremendous contributions in mathematics, cryptoanalysis, mathematical biology. I mean, shit that I'm like, what?
That goes like way over my head.
Yeah, right. Like, want. Now, he also made major contributions to what we now today refer as like computer science, cognitive science, artificial intelligence. Like the things that he was doing were cutting edge that really started paving the way to allow us to start doing this stuff. I mean, artificial life, I mean, all of that stuff. Like he was a genius.
The man.
The man. Now, he was a son of a civil servant, but he was educated in a very top private school. Thankfully, he wasn't stifled.
Yeah.
Could have lost that mind to
to being a garbage man or something.
Whatever.
Right?
Yes.
Not being able to use that.
That's right.
So I have a question about that.
Uh-huh.
Okay. He is, and I know I'm getting too close to ask questions, but I do have a question. He went to a prestigious private school. So how did he afford it if his parents were?
That's a really good question. I don't fully know the answer. I can only assume that people knew and appreciated his intelligence, and he probably
had a scholarship
help
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then that makes sense.
There he met a person named Christopher Markham.
Okay.
And he was a classmate who also had a tremendous passion for mathematics.
Besties.
Well, this was Allan's first and only, as we know, true love.
Oh.
He was just madly in love with Christopher. Allan's love, believe it or not, was not reciprocated. But he still really liked him. I mean, he was more like a friend because I don't think he was gay in the slightest.
Right.
But Allan just thought the world of Christopher. He's so smart and just felt like he was his match.
Yes.
Right? So he just never, ever got over Christopher.
Oh my God.
I know. It's a bit heartbreaking.
Yeah, it really is.
Christopher died in 1930, and Allan was very, very affected by this. Like I said, it was his true love, and he could never find someone to replace him. Like that was just going to be his true love, and that was it.
Yeah.
So he was really, really affected by that. Oh. So Allan enters the University of Cambridge to study mathematics in 1931. Excuse me, right after Christopher's death. And after graduating in 1934, he was elected to a fellowship at King's College. And there he had a lot of recognition in his research in something called probable theory. probability theory, excuse me. Now, I'm not going to go into what some of these things are. And I'm going to go into one of them in a little bit, and we're all going to be, our heads are going to explode. So I'm not going to get too much into the weeds, just to know that he's extremely smart. Okay, and so in 36, Turing's seminal paper, it was called On Computable Numbers with an Application to the Einstein's Problem.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't that make sense?
Oh, my God. So much sense.
Yeah.
So much sense. Oh, that problem.
That one.
Duh. Well, we all know what that is.
I know what Einstein's problem is. Jeez.
Wait, Scheiden's problem?
Einstein.
Uh-huh.
It's a German word. It translates to the decision problem.
Oh, wait. Is that like Schrodinger's cat? No.
No. No, I think that's psychology.
That's psychology. Sorry, Allan.
Right? How dare you? So it was recommended for publication in the American mathematical area by a guy named Alonzo Church, who himself had just published a paper that reached the same conclusion as Turing's, although it was a completely different method. But Turing's method had a lot of significance on science and computing. Like it, again, a lot of the things that he was doing was like forefront. That got a lot of scientists and a lot of things moving into the direction that we know of today. So later that year, Turing moved to Princeton University to study for a PhD in mathematical logic. Jesus, which he completed in 38. I mean, really?
I mean, okay. I do think that Turing is like nerd alert.
He's like
genius nerd alert.
Genius. Nerd alert.
Nerd alert. But really?
So
I can't understand it. The only reason I'm making fun of it is because I still don't know when this happened to like almost 100
like I don't know what
years
any of those words mean.
I understood problem and the.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, now all of this has zero bearing on the story, but I have to tell you what Einstein's problem is.
Oh my God, please. No, please do, because I actually am interested.
Okay. So Einstein's problem, and I had to rewrite this into a logical sentence, and even the logical sentence is going to be like, what the F?
Did you ask AI?
No. Yeah, right, exactly. Didn't do that here.
It did not make any sense. Okay.
Okay. Right, because, yeah, okay, here we go.
It's just logic.
Okay, so Einstein's problem
Okay.
is the problem of finding an algorithm or a repetitive procedure, okay, that will yield a definite yes or no answer after choosing the question of a class of questions in mathematics and formal logic. I just saw your eyes glaze over.
I'm like,
I was with you for the first 3 words.
okay, an algorithm.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like
So you're trying
to find this procedure that yields a yes or no, yes or no, yes or no.
Yes.
After you find a question in a class of questions in mathematics or logical, formal logic.
Okay.
Okay. So we're just going to have to leave it at that because I can't help you.
Okay.
I can't help you. I just said all of that just, again, to prove a point.
That he was brilliant.
That, like, unfathomably intelligent.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so wait, I actually do have another definition.
Okay.
Was an effective method for solving the fundamental mathematical problem of determining exactly which mathematical statements are provable within a given formal mathematical system, which are not.
Okay, they're all about run-on sentences.
Exactly.
And it's like, can we use simpler words, you know? Like, do they all have to have, like, you know, four mathematical, blah, blah, blah. It's like, say math. Just say math.
Oh, my God.
We don't know what you're saying. It's too much.
Amazing.
Yes.
So now I say all of this again, not to educate everyone on mathematics, because let's face it, probably 100% of us didn't even know what I said. Mm-mm. But I said it just to help articulate how genius he was. Now in 36, Turing had invented this hypothetical computing device. And it came to know as the Universal Turing Machine. The Universal Turing Machine, his last name.
Okay.
Now, after the Second World War ended, he continued his research in this area, kind of building and incorporating in everything that he has learned during the war. Now, while he was working in what's called the NPL, this National Physical Laboratory, he published a design for this other thing. It's called ACE, Automatic Computing Engineering, which they said was really the first modern computer. So he really created
the first computer. So that was the Universal Turing Machine was the computer.
No, it's a different. That's a whole nother machine.
Okay, something different.
So, yeah, this dude was just like inventing all of these things.
And the universal one, like it was just hypothetical. It wasn't an actual machine. It was just an idea of a machine.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
So then, having returned from the United States to his fellowship at King's College, that was in the summer of '38, he was working part-time for the British government's Code and Cipher School when the Second World War breaks out.
Great.
So 1939 takes up a full role at Bletchley Park in Buckinghamshire, where for a time he led what they called the Hut. And this is where top secret work was carried out to try to decipher military codes used by the Germans. And they were getting these codes, and they were intercepting them, and they were deciphering them. And they figured out how to decipher them. Well, just shortly thereafter, or previously, the Polish government had shared with Britain and France how they had successfully decoded these Enigma machines.
Right.
Okay. And the machine that they were using to decipher, because they were intercepting the communications. Well, there's a small team of Polish mathematicians, and they had intercepted an actual Enigma machine, and they were trying to figure out the internal wiring.
Okay.
Well, in '38, a team devised a code of breaking that machine, and they called that machine the bomba.
Okay, this is the bomba.
This is the bomba.
Okay.
It's the Polish word for ice cream. Now, I don't know.
Did it look like ice cream?
I don't know. I couldn't really ever find a good picture of a bomba. Yes, I don't know why they called it that. Okay. Now, it only worked because someone had intercepted and figured out the Germans' operating procedures, so they knew what they needed to do to decrypt the message, because they were intercepting these transmissions in a way that they know, okay, well, this is this, so I know how to decrypt it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, come May 1940, somehow the Germans either figured out that they were decoding it or what, but now they decide, oh, well, we're going to change the cipher daily.
Oh.
So now every day we're going to change the thing that's going to decode it so that it's not like the same thing for a month or a week or whatever, right? So now this bomba machine becomes useless. Doesn't work anymore.
Oh, my God.
So they turned to this fellow code breaker. His name's Jordan Welshman. And he had another machine called the Bombe, B-O-M-B-E, instead of B-O-M-B-A.
Because that's really not confusing. Thanks, dude.
Exactly. Now, this supercomputer was able to decode the German code even with a daily cipher. Now, if anyone has ever watched, there's a movie about Allan Turing, played by
Benedict Cumberbatch.
And they do a very good job about him working on creating this machine that's the size of a wall. And it's very mechanical.
Oh, sure.
But it's so incredible. I'm not going to go into the details how Enigma works, but basically you set these dials, and by you set the dials, then it change. Like when you press a G, it becomes an O, and it only becomes the O by these two different settings, and they're very complex. Mm-hmm. Well, he made a computer that would figure that shit out.
So you don't have to actually like do all of those steps just to
right. So now they were starting to decode these messages on a daily
even
basis.
faster. Yeah.
Yes.
It's like real time, almost like real time news, real time like information.
Yeah, they were
getting
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So he was critical in that. So Allan was still haunted by the loss of Christopher, and in a 1950 paper, he referred to research by some people that he knew in the UK. Turing starts going down a different path, and he's saying there's an overwhelming statistical evidence of telepathy in the world, and he's starting to talk about how there's overwhelming evidence of it, that it exists.
This is where our boy Allan is coming straight into our world of the Bizarre AF.
Exactly.
So he's thinking that there's statistically significant data to show that there is such thing as telepathy.
Now so then you go, this guy is so effing smart. How do you debate this? You're like,
right.
He's not just some person off the street.
Right.
Like
he's not just saying
he's
this.
He's a scientist.
So I guess from my perspective, yeah, how do you debate it? But also, where is his evidence coming from?
Right.
How is he getting this?
I couldn't find it.
Shut up. Okay.
So then my little whole conspiracy hat starts coming on.
Oh my God. I have a hat on. Put conspiracy on it because yes. Yeah, he had to have had data. Okay, this is a scientist.
Exactly. He only lives with by data.
How does he not have like notebooks or notes or whatever?
He did.
I mean, I have a notebook right here.
Yeah.
And we're, I have a notebook all the time that I'm writing in anytime we're doing episodes.
Yeah.
Notes upon notes upon notes. And that's not scientific. Well, I mean, it's like informative, but it's not mathematically
and his life
logic.
Is ruled by data. So
ruled by logic, ruled by data, ruled by like this this other he was ruled by science. That's all. That's what he lived and breathed it.
Exactly. So he wouldn't just say something exists out of a whim.
No.
Right.
No, he also like were people like, oh my God, because he's also like, basically saving the British people and like, the Allies with this machine. Like maybe we should listen to him. Or was it like, meh, he's a little crazy. He's crazy in a bad way this way. But everything else, like when he builds us like war machines, we're totally cool with that.
Exactly. Yeah, so when he saved us from the world, he's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then they also found a remark that he wrote somewhere that he says, once the quote is, quote, once one has accepted telepathy, it doesn't seem a very big step to believe in ghosts. So now he's going down this whole other path.
Okay. So wait a second. He said them. Them meaning telepathy or them meaning what?
I don't know.
Because I know that we have in the past and we will in the future continue to talk about alien abductions and how aliens seem to have like some kind of telepathy or telekinetic like thing.
Exactly.
So is that the them? Like them for telepathy doesn't make any sense.
Right. So maybe, yeah. I mean, I could go down 1,000 rabbit holes.
Oh my God, me too.
Yeah. Okay. So.
And he was like ghosts.
Right. Mm-hmm. So Allan was actually remarkably open about his homosexuality.
I was going to ask about that.
Despite how repressive attitudes were in that day and age. And I just have to say, I mean, the United States was really bad. Britain was worse.
Oh God.
They were bad.
Yeah, they I know they would like put people in prison, like Oscar Wilde went to prison for, I forget what it was called, but
we're going to talk about some of it. It's no bueno.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe his logic and his honesty is what made him feel like his orientation couldn't be a crime, you know, because he's like, I don't know, I'm smart and that's so not important, and you know, I'm logical and it's no big deal. So he just thought maybe that's what he's just thought. He's like, nah, it's not a crime. You know what I mean? In his mind. Yeah,
it didn't seem like, even with his friend, when he told his friend Christopher, like, hey, I'm gay, he's like, don't swing that way, but like, I'm like, that's cool. We can still be friends.
Yeah.
And he was down for that. It didn't seem like he was ever trying to hide who he was.
Exactly.
Or he felt like he had any reason to have to hide that.
Plus, he just saved the freaking world.
I mean,
BT dubs.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, really not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things.
Right. Yeah. I just saved you from Hitler. So yes. I think I can be gay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And plus, he lived a very sheltered liberal life at Cambridge, you know what I mean?
That's right. And his parents were kind of like that too. Yeah. Like everyone, he didn't really understand how the world could be. Well,
he's in for a shock because homosexuality was a criminal offense at the time. Criminal. And in February of 1952, Turing was arrested for having a sexual relationship with a man. And then he was tried and convicted of gross indecency.
Gross indecency, that's what it's called.
Yeah. And so then to avoid prison, so this was his options.
Okay.
You're going to go to prison for being gay. Or you cannot go to prison and we will chemically castrate you. Because you shouldn't have any sexual desires if you're gay. So what'll it be? Which do you want? And he says, I'm not going to prison.
To have to make that decision. He's a logical dude.
Right.
He knows it's going to happen.
Right.
He's not denying who he is.
Right.
50, what was that, 1952?
Mm-hmm.
It's like what, 5 years after the war fucking ended? Or something like that?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. 43, yeah, ish.
Well, yeah,
ish.
Okay, so like less than 10 years after he saved, they're like, oh yeah, thanks for what you did in the past, but...
But you're gross, and...
Yeah, this is like indecent.
Yeah.
Indecent to who?
Oh God, you'll get me going, girl. And so he did it, and basically they just have like I think it's like high doses of female estrogen, female hormone estrogen.
So what he took?
So it's essentially a chemical castration, and it
they gave him
neutralizes your libido. So there's like you have zero sexual desire. Plus, I'm sure it F's with you, probably gives you boobs and shrinks your balls and, you know, all these terrible, terrible physical things. Not to mention the emotional things with all those female hormones running through.
Oh my God.
It makes me sick.
Yeah.
So in June 7th of 1954, at the age of 42, Allan is found dead in his home in Williamshire, Cheshire. Now, the exact circumstances of his death can never be known. He was alone. You know, no one was with him. But Allan had previously spoken of suicide to his friends.
Oh, no.
And so they just, the coroner just chalked it up to suicide. Now, next to Turing's body was an apple. Was partially eaten. Now, years before, this is very interesting.
Okay.
Allan had gone to see Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah.
And he was friends were saying he was particularly taken with the scene where that wicked witch dangled the apple into that boiled cauldron and said, dip the apple in the brew and let the sleeping death sleep through. He was very taken by this scene. And I saw this thing. It said it had been reported that Allan had wanted, quote, to invest his departure from a world that had treated him so shabbily with some of the gothic, eerie, colorful brilliance of a Disney film.
What? So he killed himself.
So, right. So people are assuming or thinking that he poisoned himself. That's how he killed himself.
So they didn't see like a noose or anything. They just saw him dead.
Yes.
And he had an apple next to him.
Yes.
Oh my God, that is so macabre.
Isn't it macabre? But you think about how messed up he had to have been.
I mean,
it's heartbreaking.
You know what's hard? Like you started telling Allan Turing's, story of his life by talking about Christopher, who was his like unrequited love. And I'm like, oh my God, that's heartbreaking enough. and then we continue down this rabbit hole of like, he does one scientific discovery after the next. And, less than 10 years later, he's living. And like, of course, he's never hid who the hell he was.
Right.
He's always been forthright, honest, logical about who he was.
Yep.
And like, we need you to be chemically castrated, or you can go to prison. Oh, looks like I'm going to have to take the chemical castration because there's no way I know myself. I'm not going to survive in prison. Yeah.
No.
So, they were basically giving him a death sentence then.
Exactly.
And then what? You can't really be yourself, or you can't live life the way you want to live it.
No.
And there is no logic in that.
None.
So you just end the problem yourself.
That's exactly it.
That's
exactly it.
So sad.
He knew
and
he
that's
wasn't
not the
have
answer.
Any life. He wasn't going to have any kind of a life.
Yeah, they showed him that he wasn't going to. They made him.
Right.
They forced him into that.
So the pathologist post-mortem report suggests it was kind of a bit more unromantic, they say. So the autopsy revealed that Turing's stomach contained 4 ounces of a fluid that smelt of bitter almonds. A solute, which was cyanide.
Yeah.
Is that almond smell?
Yeah.
And his death was not accidental.
Yeah.
God. There was enough poison to fill a wine glass.
Oh my God. So he probably took a wine glass filled with it. Ugh.
They think they think he took bites of the apple to make the more palatable.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's also a very dramatic way to die, thinking about it that way too.
Right.
Like the macabre scene.
Right.
But
It's
my God.
It's just awful.
It's horrendous.
So as we mentioned, if you guys haven't seen The Imitation Game, Benedict Cumberbatch, I really have recommend. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it.
It's good.
Is it? Okay.
He does a really, really, really good job. Now they don't highlight. The storyline isn't about him being gay,
right? Because that's
insignificant,
right?
Detail to the grand scheme of things. I think they honor him really well and just portray his genius really good. So I would recommend watching it if you're interested.
Yeah.
And what I found out is they just announced a musical called Allan Turing, Guilty of Love.
Oh, we're seeing it. Count me in.
They say the description was, this musical explores the love and human side of Allan, delving into the life of the mathematical genius, as well as the betrayal of a nation. I think it's in, of course, New York, probably like off Broadway or something like that. But my God, I think it starts. Its debut is in Edinburgh in the Fringe Festival.
Fun.
In August.
Oh my God. If anyone's in Edinburgh.
Exactly.
Tell us.
I
Go
want
see
to
it.
hear all about it.
Yeah, I hope it's really good.
I do too. But let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk about all of the bizarre and twisted ways that Christians and other God-fearing people want to rid the planet of bad Satan people.
Bad Satan people?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, people that...
You fun people? You mean all the fun people?
Yeah, exactly.
The people we want to hang around?
I'm trying not to get too invested in it, and that's why I'm struggling with words, because I want to just like, I want to just...
I can see
my
it.
words.
I can see it in your rainbow
trying to be good
eyes.
Yeah.
What you're trying to say. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so here are the terrible, disgusting, bizarre crap that people have done to the LGBT community. You ready for this? Probably not. But
no, I'm not ready.
So, chemical castration. We'll start off there. We just talked about that. So its useful purposes was to help kill cancers and tumors that feed on hormones to kind of combat the hormones.
That makes sense.
But its more common use is to try and stop gay and lesbian sex offenders from having or wanting sex.
How fucking stupid is that?
Like, why are we spending any time on that?
Who cares?
Who cares?
It's really not that big of a deal.
How am I bothering you?
Okay, can I tell you? I was okay. So I was working in my past life. That's also my current life. In a very conservative environment, and in this environment, it was good old boys, down south boys.
Yeah.
And I remember it was around Proposition 8 and that stuff happening. It's Proposition 8 was
in California, right?
In California.
Yeah.
So Proposition 8 said illegal for people who are gay to get married, same sex, blah, 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 whatever. So there was a huge movement, and he was talking about that. It was around, Obama was new to presidency, and he was saying, what he said, I don't know what these liberals are doing. And I was riding to work in my bike, and he's like, hey Alicia, you ride to work with your on your bike in your grass skirt. I'm like, grass skirt? I don't have a grass skirt. He was saying that I was a pothead, and I'm not, by the way, I'm just not. I'm not a pothead. No problem for people who are, but that's just not me.
Right.
But anyways, he was making fun of me, and then he said, you know what? He said, this whole gay thing. He said, I don't get it. It's supposed to be Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
Oh my God.
He said that to me, and I was sitting there thinking, do you know who I am? Do you know how many friends I have who are gay? You're a fucking idiot. But I looked at him and I was like, oh, I'm going to get him right where it matters. And I said, yeah, whatever. I don't really care about it. I said, the only person I really care about who they're having sex with is, my partner. I said, I think it's pretty gay if you're thinking about what other men are doing.
Hashtag why exactly? Why is that in your mind?
He's like, oh no, I don't care. I'm like, then why are you so hung up on it? You should only be the only person you should care about is your wife. So if they're consensual people, who cares? Doesn't matter. And he was like, I'm like, yeah, walk back into the fucking closet. If you have such an issue with it. Yep. So obnoxious. I'm sorry. Is obnoxious. I'm saying this as an ally.
I know. I hear you. See what happens. You start, and then your blood starts to go. And
I can feel it. I can feel it right now.
Exactly.
Honestly, my heart is just pounding.
Exactly.
I'm you just want to.
I know.
Okay, sorry.
I know. It's okay. I knew we were going to go on tangents. I knew we were. Good. Another one is aversion therapy.
Would you like to tell the class what it is?
So,
I have a story about this
electrons attached to the wrist and lower leg, and shocks administered while patients look at photographs of people in various stages of undress. The aim is to encourage avoidance by the shock of moving to photographs of the opposite sex. So you make them, it's aversion therapy. You see, okay, you see this one? Oh, that's good.
Yeah, this is good. This is a woman. You should like this. You're like, ow, I just don't want you to hurt me anymore. Jeez.
Fuck.
I have a feeling, Kevin, that does not work.
Of course it doesn't work. So barbaric.
It's okay, I thought this was a different type of therapy, which I'm sure the one that I'm thinking of you're going to go over, but that is, it's insane to me that is something that people were like, no, this is
it's so intense. They're so intense about you not being that way. You are consuming my mind.
Yeah.
Because you're not what I think you should be. And always it's boiling back to religion, which is another thing that just pisses me off. But
it's like people who just like are really boring.
I don't know what it is.
I think they don't have lives. And to be completely honest, I wonder if a lot of it is like there's so much self-hatred that they have because maybe they're a little gay.
Maybe.
I mean, to be completely honest, I like go to the Kinsey scale, like nobody's totally straight, nobody's totally gay. Everyone is some shade of whatever inside of that spectrum. You have these two sides and people really don't fit on those. We're all somewhere in the middle and maybe they're not so comfortable with being maybe not so straight.
Maybe.
And so it's like that self-hatred that they're then projecting onto you.
And of course, parents teach kids to hate.
100%.
It just goes and goes and just goes.
It's cyclical.
So then, of course, there's religious counseling. So intense Bible study, regardless of the person's beliefs or religion. You know, my God and my book are the truth. You will comply and you will pray the gay away.
Whatever.
Okay, just yet another tool in
Pray
the
the gay away. It's going to help. Just go talk to God about it. God's like, it's cool if you're gay. I don't know what these people are saying.
Bitch, I made him.
Yeah, I made him. I know.
I know.
I definitely know.
Then there's hypnosis.
Oh.
So like trying to get someone to stop smoking, right? So the aim here is to subconsciously get the subject to have uncomfortable or unpleasant feelings when they think about or engage in sexual activity.
So weird. That is so weird. Like people do that for like smoking habits.
Right.
Like, hey, this innate thing.
Because you choose to smoke, you choose to be gay.
Right. That's what people think.
So I can hypnotize you to just stop that bad habit.
Just like you choose to be straight or you choose to like pizza or whatever. It's like, you just kind of like it.
God. Then there's masculinization programs.
Oh, what's that?
It's just what the name implies. You have to go do things that a man's supposed to do to try to masculinize you. And we're gonna go hunt, be man, be strong.
Yeah, but plenty of gay guys like that kind of stuff.
Hello, I like to shoot shit.
Yeah, you like shooting stuff.
Yeah.
You the amount of things that I find out about you that you enjoy doing, I'm like, you are just an enigma machine.
Yeah, right.
I didn't know you liked this too. You like shooting guns. Oh, that's cool. I had no clue.
Yep.
Like, I don't know, maybe people can be multifaceted.
Do you think? Yeah. No, you have to be in a box, Alicia. I'm going to put you in this box. You must be in this box. If you bleed edges outside of the box, we must fix you.
Dumb.
Hashtag stupid.
Hashtag stupid.
Then there's exorcisms.
Exorcising gay audio.
Well, it's a demon. It's the devil.
I was just going to go to a really negative or like a really weird place of like, how do they exercise? Because you know those priests are like, oh yeah.
How do they exercise? In tights?
I'll definitely exercise that out of you.
Exactly.
You're like, I'm sure you will, priest fucking Bill. Priest Phil. Priest, I don't know. Name them. There's a reason why they went into being a priest. It's because they couldn't
so those
marry.
priests choose to be gay. They choose. I mean, they behave so poorly because their minds are so twisted.
I think a lot of these people, they're in such conservative, upbringings. They're like, well, this is not, I'm just going to devote my life to the church. And like, same thing with women who are nuns and stuff like that. Same kind of thing. Like they're devoting their life to the church. And the idea behind that is, I can't act out.
Right.
This
will cure me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. There's something called psychodrama.
Ooh, this sounds fun. Even though I know it's not going to be.
Psychodrama has been described as individual therapy, but in a group format, with the action taking place around the protagonist's multiple roles in life, such as a parent, a partner, a sibling, and an employee. So there's 3 types of psychodrama. Something called doubling, and that's when another person physically standing close by the protagonist is mimicking them and their posture so they can see how awful they are.
Oh, because everyone who's like gay has a specific
posture and mannerisms, and so I'm just going to mimic you so you can see how disgusting you are.
It's just bullying.
Totally.
That's just bringing a bully into there and be like, I hate how you laugh. Like, it's
exactly.
Like, I can't help that. Jeez, you're making me feel so self-conscious. Fuck.
There's mirroring, where the protagonist will take a seat and let everyone pretend to be them. Like mirroring what they do.
Like all of your
everybody in the group.
Oh my God.
And then there's role reversal, where you're stepping out of one's own identity and trading places with another. So pretending to be your father who's disgusted by you.
Ew.
You have to pretend like I have to pretend to be my dad who just thinks it's disgusting.
That's so awful.
Awful.
It's like so
This happens to this day, people.
I was going to say, don't they, and you might be bringing it up.
What?
Where like, because I have a personal, not so personal story about this, but the like reformed gays or like lesbians who are therapists, what is that called? And they're like Christian or whatever.
Oh, like the converted?
Conversion therapy.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh yeah, no, actually, like I was just believing like the wicked ways of the world and stuff. So that is conversion therapy.
Yeah, all they're doing is convincing themselves of something that's not true. That's all it is.
They're still like, everyone's still gay. I had a friend, I'm not kidding you. I had a friend in 2009, 2010 who was really having a hard time. And of course, go figure, like I'm always like one of the first people that people come out to. Like during that time, we were talking about this earlier. I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. But I don't, who cares? Like it doesn't bother me. Well, his family got really fucking weird and like took him out of school. And then he was in therapy, like with a reformed lesbian. And he's like, no, he's like, I think I probably could. Like, there are some women that I've thought are attractive. I'm like, yeah, but you don't want to fuck them. Like you don't have any sexual leanings. Like, I can sit here and be like, there are women I find attractive, but it's not like I want to have a sexual encounter with them.
Right.
Like, it's just,
people can be attractive.
You can, yeah. People can be attractive.
All people can be attractive.
Doesn't mean, anything. And I just remember the torture that he was in because he honestly, like,
sad.
It's so sad. And, families putting their, and that was in Colorado about 10 years ago. In Colorado is pretty freaking, liberal, right? I can't imagine how this is still happening. By the way, I don't know. I feel like we should say something like along the lines of, if you find yourself in a situation like that, there is help. There is a helpline. I think it's 811 if you have suicidal thoughts. And if you...
And there's all kinds of center, like go to LGBT centers,
Yeah.
LGBT centers, or you can find anything.
Call 1-800 numbers. The Trevor Project is another great resource. At least in Colorado, there's the center in Denver, and it's a resource for kids and for adults, anyone who's LGBT plus Q, all the stuff, all the acronyms, the alphabet mafia.
Yeah.
Anyone who's a member, that's there for you. And it's really not that big of a deal. One.
Right.
But you're not alone. And there are resources out there.
And that's a good point. Like, cause we are laughing about it. It's because it's so absurd.
It's so absurd.
So absurd. But there are all kinds of people. Hello, Alicia and I are here. We have a phone number on our website.
Yeah, please call it.
Us a call.
We would be happy to talk to you.
I'd be happy to help you. So abreaction, I think it's pronounced abreaction. I think abreaction is a psychoanalytical term for reliving an experience to purge it of its emotional excess. It's a type of catharsis. Sometimes it is a method of becoming conscious of repressed traumatic events. So a lot of times they will take, what traumatic event are you covering up with your homosexuality? What happened to you? You had to have been molested or raped, and now you're just acting out.
Oh my God. I'll tell you what. The vast majority of the population has had some kind of trauma, but to equate that to
being gay, yeah,
that's a mind fuck.
It's
in like all the worst ways.
It's torture.
It absolutely is.
Electroconvulsive therapy is a treatment that involves sending electrical current through your brain,
right,
causing a brief surge of electrical activity within your brain. This is also known as a seizure.
Oh my God. It's like, the electroshock therapy.
And so the aim of that is to relieve the symptoms of the mental health problem that you have.
Fuck, dude. Because guess what? Freaking like being gay was like in the DSM, which is like the diagnostic standard measurements of like psychiatric.
Yes.
Like, it was considered a mental disorder.
Yes.
Until like pretty
recently.
That's fucking crazy, dude.
Conversion therapy is what we're talking about.
Yes.
Is the practice of attempting to change an individual's sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression to align with heterosexual and cisgender norms.
Sounds really fun. Sounds like it's like...
Sounds so productive and important.
Oh my God, yeah. Because you know what? You know what I was thinking about? Like creative spaces and stuff, it's just filled with straight people. It's all straight men.
Yeah, exactly.
That make those things
cool
happen.
Creative things.
All the cool creative stuff is because straight men exist.
Exactly. Hilarious. So, Florida, for example.
Oh my God. Oh, great. We're bringing Florida. Okay. Peace and love, Florida. But good God, get your shit together. Get it together.
Good girl, get a grip. Good God, girl, get a grip.
Good God, girl, get a grip. Fuck Florida. Oh, lay it on me.
So they say you can't perform any type of sex education to children. Yet conversion therapy is totally okay.
Is children like anyone who's under the age of 18? Well, kids ask about sex. That's so stupid.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be done in a public space.
Oh my God.
And you can try to convert someone for something they don't want to be and are not, but it's not okay to discuss things that may help them or discover who they want to be. It makes no fucking sense. Yeah. Makes no fucking sense.
Well, it's like such a cop-out. It's like, no, we're just like trying to be hands off and letting the kid, like the guys is like, we're letting the kids be whoever they want to be. Like that's what they're trying to make this sound like.
And not convert them, not encourage them.
Anyway.
You don't want to encourage them to discover, you don't want to encourage them to be gay. Mm-hmm. You don't want to talk about it because you might introduce it and put thoughts in their head. The other thought is, well, it's not appropriate. That's not the place of teachers and such. But I would argue that a lot of these kids, that's the only place they learn thing or the only place they get attention.
Oh, yeah.
Because their parents are awful.
Yes. Plenty of kids.
Especially those who are gay or gender questioning or whatever. Their parents a lot of their parents are just awful.
Yeah.
They want to
feel safe. The kids don't feel safe.
They don't feel safe. That's the bottom line. Mm-hmm. Now, there are 4. I'm going to go on a tangent here for a second.
Please.
There are 4 states, Indiana, Alabama, Georgia, and you guessed it, Florida, that actually have laws that prohibit local level bans on conversion therapy. They prohibits bans
on
conversion therapy. 20 states, there's absolutely no laws about conversion therapy. 5 states where there is a ban for minors only, and 21 states with full out bans. Thank you, Colorado.
Oh, when was Colorado banned?
I do not know. I don't know the dates.
I mean,
it's
within
one of
the
the
last
21.
10 years.
One of the 21.
Well, thank fucking God for that. Mm-hmm. The thing that pisses me off, like even just like the whole idea of like anyone who's under 18. We're not going to allow it, conversion therapy for anyone who's under 18. It's like the person I knew was over 18. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter how, I mean, of course you're an adult, but like you can still be lost. But like to take someone's like a place where someone's so vulnerable and like trying to figure their own shit out, which is hard for all of us.
Yeah.
Like no matter what.
But
like trying to figure that out when you think you're going to be facing adversity. Like,
yes. People are going to be hate and evil to you. I mean, that's impossible.
The people who should love you the most, which is your family, they're like, oh no, we found a solution for you.
Yeah.
We found this great therapist.
You need to not be you.
Like you do your thing, like you can talk to them about it. They've gone through the same thing as you. And in reality, you're like, oh my God, that's great. Like I've always wanted someone to talk to about this.
And I want you to love me. And so I'll do whatever.
I'll do whatever.
I'll do what you need.
And then you find out it's fucking conversion therapy. It's like if somebody's if you have a therapist who's trying to tell you that you are not gay or you're not straight or
it's not
like,
okay to be who you are.
Yeah, it's not okay to be who you are. Like, yeah, like these urges that you have that are normal. Like there are some weirdos out there no matter what. Like you have remember that one show? It was like, there was like this guy who was like, I'm just really attracted to my car. And you're like, dude, that's weird.
Shut up.
Like, okay, there's something up with that. But like if it's like, two people who are, loving each other, adults, like can make their own decisions.
Human beings,
we're just humans who want connection and shame on people who
dictating it.
Yeah. Who are trying to put rules on that human connection between two people because it doesn't look the same for anyone.
That's right. That's well said. Well said. That's exactly right. Here's another one. Marriage ban. That's an obvious one.
Oh yeah. Gay marriage ban.
It wasn't until just 8 short years ago that marriage was legal for the entire United States for gay couples.
Well, and you are married. Aren't you guys married?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, this is technically a civil union. I mean, by the state of Colorado, we are married.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, we didn't go through the whole formal marriage.
Yeah. Who cares? It doesn't matter.
It's literally a piece of paper.
It's a piece of paper. Yeah.
We've been together for 28 fucking years. Yeah, we're married.
You guys are married for sure. Yes. But I mean, like the fact that you guys been together for 28 years, 20 of those years, it was not.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And so the argument always around that has been centered around religion. And like you said before, it's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Eve.
Yes.
Shut up. Oh my God. Okay, I'm going off on a tangent for a second.
Please.
Okay, people, I want you to listen. If you're not going to listen to this entire episode, I want you to hear these words. When people say that gay marriage will ruin the sanctity of marriage, they say this a lot. That is why we can't have it. It ruins the sanctity of marriage.
Right.
So I'm going to say, you listen here, you little asshole. Stop watching shit like The 90 Day Fiancé or The Bachelor.
Yes.
All this shit where I'm going to meet you behind a wall and then marry you.
Oh, it's so dumb.
That's not ruining the sanctity of marriage. Eat my shorts. Pisses me off. I hate it so much.
To quote the great Bart Simpson, eat my shorts.
God. Hypocrites. Okay. Last one I have on the list is just plain out denial services. Businesses will flat out say, oh, you're gay? Oh, I'm not going to make your cake. Oh, you're gay? I'm not going to make your cards.
So dumb. Okay, because can I just like, people who think that, can I give you a little word of advice? The gays,
Yeah.
you want them on your side. Okay. We want the gays on our side. You want to know why? Because they fucking support in droves. Bud Light. Oh, Bud Light is fucking doing just great.
Yes, they are.
They don't need any straighties to be doing great.
Destroy their kegs of beer.
Who
Go
cares?
ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, it's being bought in droves by the gays. Another thing, like, okay, guess who all of us want to have our neighbors? We want some gabers, okay?
Gabers, yeah.
We want some gabers because guess what? Mm-hmm. They take care of their shit.
Yeah. We're respectful.
Respectful. They are, people who are, in that community are very loyal. Like, you're really like just cutting off your nose to spite your face.
That's exactly
when it comes to
That's it.
to denying services. It's like, who cares? Like, okay, someone's having a period party. Like, is that weird? Yeah, it's probably weird to a lot of people. I kind of think it's a little weird, but who fucking cares? Like, people are doing
I'm gonna
it.
sell 100 cards.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell an awesome. I'm gonna sell
a really nice cake.
Yeah, and guess what? It's gonna help me pay my bills. So
exactly.
like, who gives a shit? It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
So dumb. Now, you mentioned this earlier, but it wasn't until 92 that homosexuality was removed from the International Classification of Diseases.
Yes. Yep.
Diseases.
92? 92. Good God.
Good God, girl, get a grip.
Good God.
Good God, girl, get a grip. There has been formal study after study, which, sorry, it shouldn't take a study to comprehend this, that there is zero benefit and extreme consequence of defining same-sex attraction as a mental illness and designing treatments to eradicate it.
It's insane. We had talked about this earlier. And so my grandmother was gay.
How old was she? When was she born? Do you know?
Probably in the
early
late
1900s?
30s.
Okay, 30s.
Late 30s. Yeah, because she had my mom in 1965, so I would assume she was at least 20.
Okay.
So
yeah.
So
okay.
40s, 30s.
40. Okay. Yep.
So maybe the 1940s was when she was born,
okay.
or late 30s. But she was raised Catholic, and had told her aunt and uncle, who she loved dearly, and they're like, "Oh, we will disown you if you're gay." So she never came out to my mom.
So she's like, "Oh, never mind, I'm not."
She's like, okay, well, she had 2 kids at this point. I mean, and thank God, thanks, Grandma, because I wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
right. Gosh.
I wish she would have been able to, feel, to feel like she could actually be herself. But that's why I'm like such an ally today, is because, she was unable to be who she was.
You're an ally today, Alicia, because you have
Maybe because
common
I'm a good-
sense.
maybe because I don't know. Yeah, I'm a person who has a lot of gay friends, and I don't give a shit
You
about
don't-
what they do.
You don't give a shit. It's like you're just you like let humans be humans. You're just I
Go
don't know,
figure.
God.
But I mean, to even think like her, yeah, she couldn't be gay at all. And then fucking hearing about the DSM, like I remember somebody saying that, oh, it was just outlawed or like
Right.
taken off the DSM like diagnostic list of being like, yeah, they thought it was an actual disease.
God.
Like it's insane. It's crazy.
Insane.
You had to hide who you were.
So I'm gonna leave you all with my final thoughts.
Oh, please.
Hashtag Jerry Springer.
Hashtag yes, R.I.P. Jerry Springer.
So regardless of your feelings and opinions on things we've discussed today, I want you to remember that you are all humans living on a planet with other humans.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how people dress, look, live, or love. We are all humans, and the rights of people are the rights of all people. They are human rights, and it doesn't matter if you think people are going to hell for their actions because it doesn't impact you. So let God do the judging and the punishment that you believe in. And don't let hate and pity consume your little mind for even a little second, because people who don't believe in the same things you do or behave like you do or love like you do aren't consumed by you. I promise you that. So just treat every human on this planet with dignity and respect. And as my queen of the universe, RuPaul, says, a little bit of love goes a long, long way.
Amen.
Thanks for joining me today.
Oh, amen. And cheers. And you know what?
Cheers.
Happy Pride to you, Kevin.
Happy Pride to you and everyone. And to the, what's the word? Cheers to everyone in the world. And happy Pride.
Happy Pride. Happy Pride to every creature, great and small.
That's what I was looking for. Thanks again.
Thank you.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.